We are today with Torres, one of our best experts in Capgemini on the climate tech. Carbon capture sounds like, a magic, promise. So what is it about, Anne?
Carbon capture is a way of collecting carbon emissions out of different processes. There are two ways you can capture it within industries, and you can reduce the carbon emissions. And we call that a way that carbon capture can decarbonize some of the emissions. We can also remove carbon. So we can remove carbon out of the atmosphere and thus reducing the overall carbon.
So, and what happens once the carbon is captured?
You also need to transport that carbon. You need to store it, and then sometimes you have the opportunity to utilize that carbon. In each of those different steps, there are also different processes and technologies that go into a successful carbon capture system.
It is the right weapon against the global warming? What is the potential impact?
It's not the only tool we have, but it's a critical one. It's one that will help us reduce our emissions and the overall amount of carbon in the atmosphere. Carbon capture gets us to this point where we can get to net zero.
Can you share with us an example?
We've done a direct air capture system where we helped our client figure out what the business could be and then help them scale some of the technology. We did some simulations in order to create a more efficient system, and then we created the design for them to create the first working prototype.
And do you see any limitations?
The reason why we haven't seen that much carbon capture is because it wasn't economically viable. Carbon capture is an energy and operational intense system. Now, companies are incentivized monetarily in order to scale these systems. So first, the financial piece was a limiter. Now, it's the speed with which we can develop, scale, and deploy. What we need to do is continue to pour more development resource into some of these new technologies that we're starting to see around carbon capture.
So, Anne, is there a technological angle or a technology which is more promising or where you're excited about?
Well, I'm really excited about the use of biomass. A couple of the projects that we have worked on have been about taking biomass and then using a system called pyrolysis in order to change that biomass into biochar. And there are two different things that you can do with that biochar. One, use it for soil. And this soil actually has captured carbon, but then can be spread around agriculture fields to have rich soil to grow in. So that's an exciting. The other thing you can do with pyrolysis is continue to heat the biomass and turn it into bio-oil. Bio-oil can then be injected back into the earth where it sinks and becomes a geological formation. The best part about that is you are sequestering that carbon in that bio-oil for thousands of years. And so we've been working with another company that looks at being able to take that bio-oil and inject that into the ground. And the challenge that they have had is around making those pyrolysis systems efficient and effective. And that's one of the areas that we've been helping to innovate and elevate the systems that are in existence.
Thank you, Anne.